Hello and welcome to another episode of Around the Verse, our weekly look at Star Citizen's development. I'm Sandi Gardiner.
And I'm Chris Roberts. Happy holidays, everyone.
On today's show, we take a look back at 2017.
Yep, we started the year by delivering updates to Star Citizen Alpha 2.6 and ended it with the release of Alpha 3.0, which introduced many new features, including our procedural planetary tech and mission system.
We saw an Idris battle at Gamescom and expanded CitizenCon to include dev panels, interactive booths, and more.
Yeah, CitizenCon was really fun. And also downloading game updates got faster thanks to the Delta Patcher. And we introduced a whole range of ships and vehicles, from the nimble Nox to the massive consolidated Outland Pioneer.
Let's check out these highlights and more in this 2017 retrospective.
Welcome back to Burndown.
Hey everyone, welcome to Mug Smashers.
Hey everybody, welcome to this week's Citizens of the Stars.
Welcome to another edition of Lore Maker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Around the Verse.
Look what we got from a fan in Switzerland. He sent us lots of sugar, obviously. Swiss Toblerone, Swiss caramel, Swiss knife.
From Zurich, Switzerland, Martin Whip.
Yeah, and sent us a t-shirt from his organization. Thank you very much.
Check this out. Bold.
Shalure, Zalath Akathon, Minna.
Both Andy and Patrice weren't speaking English, obviously, they were speaking Vandal.
All of these things are going to be, elements that you can put, within your basic job description, and then only people that have compatible interests could potentially see that. Further, you'll be able to isolate the number of people, the types of people that can actually respond to these things, so that you can only engage in this type of, contractual, transaction between friends or players in your organization, or just anybody that's got compatible interests, and then it's up to players to basically figure out, how far out they want to extend their trust.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a subdivision. So what that's going to do is just add more polygons, and you'll see it kind of just smooths out the object itself.
We're working very hard on the Heavy Armor class for both Marine and Outlaw. We now have the 3D concept for the Heavy Outlaw going through rounds of feedback, and once that concept's approved, it'll move right on into the high poly modeling phase.
Sort of the idea was that the Avenger used to be sort of their sort of premier dogfighter, and then the Hornet came out and just kind of blew them out of the water.
Of the 4 planets that are here, basically only one of them, Armitage, right here, is habitable.
To bring online character customization, you need a lot of different departments working together, and that's going to come from design, it's going to come from art, and it's going to come absolutely from the engineering side.
And two
there
points.
You go.
So
nice.
Yeah. That's basketball.
Yeah, I kind of break salvage down into 2 different concepts. One is what I'd call scavenging, which is when you're actually extracting entire pieces of value from other ships. Could be engines, could be weapons, could be cargo, whatever. And then there's also what I'd call scrapping, which is basically the extraction of the raw materials. You're actually pulling off, the metal plating from, the wings and stuff like that.
We are going to build a schedule live in front of the backers and with your input.
If we want to make a stealth bomber, it needs to have echoes of other ships, like the B-2 bomber, and then I just got to to run with it. I bring in a sun, and then I give it children, which are the planets, and then I give those children, which are the moons, and then I can give those children, which are, satellites. And I can very easily give them an orbital distance and just have, created the whole thing in a matter of minutes.
When trying to answer the question, how we network Star Citizen, one of the first things we've got to think about is exactly who's going to do the work, who's going to network everything we have in the game.
So the Atom 2.0 system encompasses a lot of different components to make ships fit within our new architecture.
Let's test to see if this fix actually works now. We're going to do the impossible, cross the boundary, and try to place a crate.
What makes working with our Planet Tech so different is the scale. When you would work on an FPS level, for example, you would, even if it's a very large map, you would cover like 4 kilometers. You don't have to worry about what happens outside of the playable boundaries. What we try to do in Star Citizen is basically cover all those elements. So you come in from a very far distance, fly close to the surface, you step out of your ship and you walk around and look at like the rocks and the ground and the details. You have to make sure you cover all these different ranges.
And what intrigues me, and I kind of think I touched on it last year in an interview I'd done with Jared, he was talking to me about like, what were you thinking? And I'm just like, well, I think in multiplayer map mode. So I'm just like, okay, there's a Starfarer here. There's kind of a map in itself. But now I've got the luxury of kind of spreading that map around a kilometre square if I need to.
So now we're getting a really good idea of how it feels for the player to explore and kind of traverse around these locations. So we're continuing to polish, but continuing to refine and just get that experience to a very high standard. So we're looking forward to the next release and then getting it out to the public and get people exploring.
So this is never meant to be a replacement for facial animation, but rather something for the players to be able to run and to drive an actor in real time.
Perhaps we should just get straight in.
My personal taste is that I want key NPCs at a given location, for example, to have real backstories and well thought through motivations and reasons for being there in the first place.
The audio component drives the animation of the character for the breathing. That is going to sync, so the audio will sync with the actual animation of the character breathing, and also on the Mobi-Glass you've got the heart rate monitor, and we will be syncing with that as well.
Hey, hello Frankfurt!
You have situations where it's possible, and what you'll see throughout the day today, where you could be on a mountain, on a planet that potentially nobody else has been on before.
Basically, the first moment of being tasked with creating a civilization, there was one question that sort of popped into my head immediately. Basically, it was a very simple question of who are they?
In doing the concept for it, I definitely had this thought of landing outside of town and peering and figuring out the lay of the land and then finding your mark and going for it.
So the length of the ship has got bigger. For example for that would be the drone room. We're using the reclaimer as the basis for how big this drone room can be.
In about 3 days we got a first version of the city working. He's worked a lot on illumination, pollution. In other cases, we set up the scene and we did this video with the real area inside the city and send it off to Chris.
So there you go. That's all for today's episode. Thanks to everyone, fans and devs alike, who helped make 2017 such a success. Our devs will be back to work next week, ready to make 2018 just as memorable.
If you missed out, you can visit our website to check out the latest Squadron 42 gameplay and enlist to receive the newsletter. You can also read up on the Tumbril Nova. There's a brochure on the sales page highlighting its distinguished and deadly history. If you're interested in adding this heavy battle tank to your fleet, it will be on sale until Monday, January 15th.
Yes, it will be. And thanks to all our subscribers. Your support's essential to keeping people updated on the game, and we couldn't produce our shows without you. Be sure to vote in our subscriber poll to voice your opinion on perks.
And thanks to all of our backers, this journey is only possible because you believe in the game's vision. Thank you very, very much for your support.
Yeah, thank you very much. So until next week, we'll see
you
you around the verse. Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.